Paul Richards is a former Labour Special Advisor. Paul, what do you make of what Yvette Cooper has been saying? You're very welcome to the programme this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me, as ever. I think it shows the seriousness with which ministers are taking this issue. They may have had a short break over the August holidays, same as the rest of us, but they haven't been immune to the headlines and talking to their constituents and being in tune with what's been going on. And they've come back straight, first day back to work today, straight out of the traps, trying to address the crisis on the coast. And I think some of the measures she's suggested make an awful lot of sense. I think particularly this issue of not allowing people just to bring their families with them automatically is reducing the pull factors that people talk about, and I think it will add to the measures in place to try and cut this evil trade.
Why has it taken Labour over a year to even diagnose the problem? To get it? Do they get it?
I think it was in our manifesto to close the hotels, so I think there's been a recognition of the failure of the system. And you heard the Prime Minister's interview this morning. Again, he chose a big media intervention on another station this morning to make that point about closing the hotels and doing it faster than the pledge in the manifesto, so not wait till the next election, but before then.
He didn't say exactly when, though. It could be any time. It could be a month before the election.
He said it would be faster than was intended, so it'll be.
Yet we're in a situation, Paul, where he was told. Well, his government was told by a court last week, well, a couple of weeks ago, to close a hotel. Yet they fought that decision.
Well, that particular point was that you have to do it in an orderly way. If you get them, if you want to get them all,
well, if you can't close one already. Yeah, but if you can't close one when you're told, if you can't close one when you're told to by a court, what hope is there to close 200 by 2029 or even before then?
Well, there's a steely determination on part of ministers to get this done because they recognise the scale of the challenge and the.
We haven't seen the results of. We haven't seen the results of that steely determination over the last year, have we?
I disagree, and I think it's ironic, isn't it, that the shadow minister, railing against the government today is the very minister who opened the hotels in the first place. And
well, he was policing minister, but he was a Home Office minister.
I mean, so it's a bit rich, isn't it?
Well, he was a Home Office minister. He wasn't directly responsible for immigration, but your point stands, I think, Paul. Keir Starmer has also carried out a mini reshuffle of his top team this morning, shortly after he released this clip on his social media accounts.
Summer's definitely over, and this morning we've got all the number 10 staff together and talked through what phase 2 of the government is going to look like and feel like. So we go into phase 2, 1st of September 2025, in good spirits, confident and with conviction about what we're doing. It needs a more powerful number 10, so we've added to the team with some really important new members. I made a number of other changes, but this is about focus on delivery now, marching forward to the next phase of government.
Do you think, Paul, that he can go forward confident and with conviction? Was that shown in phase 1? I mean, many people just don't feel phase 1 achieved a huge amount, and when it comes to the operation at number 10, he's had his top team anyway. I mean, he's on his 2nd chief of staff, he's on his 4th director of communications in 5 years, and he's had to bring in Darren Jones, arguably one of the most patronising politicians who exists today, to attempt to shake up his number 10.
I think that the people voted for a year and a bit ago was for change, and what Starmer is somebody who can get change through a system, a government system that's sometimes very hard to organise and sort of run. And the machine in Whitehall, as you know, is very sclerotic, very slow, sometimes resistant.
Yeah, correct.
So he's someone who I think is, he's more of a chief executive than a showman. He's not somebody necessarily you'd want to have around for a dinner party, but he is somebody I'd quite happily see running a large, complex organisation like government, and he's done that before as well. So I just think he's somebody who that may not set the heart aflutter, but he is the man for the job of getting things done. And this change at the top team, I think, is a reflection of his sort of chief executive-like approach to this about getting the right people in the right jobs.
But he didn't do that before, did he?
If he's also ruthless. I mean, he is.
Well, if he's got
ruthless to get rid of the people who's not performing.
Well, he may be ruthless, but to get rid of people who aren't performing. But is he choosing the right people in the first place? If he's got his 4th director of communications in 5 years, maybe the problem's not them. Maybe the problem's the message. Maybe the problem's what he's trying to do.
Tim Allen coming in he's a big hitter, and he's somebody who's been around for 30 years, and he's a sort of a serious grown-up.
He's also lobbied for some horrible regimes as well, including Russia and Uzbekistan.
Well, he'll come under a lot of scrutiny for that in the next 48 hours as well, but I'm sure they will have thought of that. But you mentioned Darren Jones, though. I mean, I don't think he's the word you used at all. I think he's a really effective performer, both internally, dealing with the spending review, negotiations with the other government departments, but also communicating via the radio and TV. He's a sort of really safe pair of hands, and it's quite a...
you think he's a good communicator on radio and TV?
Sorry, say again.
You think he's a good communicator on radio and TV?
Well, he like most of us, makes the occasional slip up, but actually overall, yeah, he's a pretty safe pair of hands. I'm sure you've got a clip lined up of him talking about.
We actually don't, but the one we're both thinking of at the moment is the question time clip where he got it so completely and catastrophically wrong. And
being human, that will happen. If you're doing hundreds of hours of TV in a month, he is going to make the odd slip up. But overall, he knows the numbers. He's in charge of his own brief. It's quite an interesting bit of criminology of the Prime Minister sort of swooping in and getting him out of the Treasury brief and putting him into this new job that doesn't exist so far. It's a sign of how our flexible constitution can work when Prime Ministers want to invent something they can. And this new job will be working directly to the Prime Minister. So it's a great promotion for him, but it's also just another good grown-up person doing the job, trying to get change through, which is what people ultimately want.
I think we can respectfully disagree, but there we are. Paul, thank you as ever. Paul, thank you. Paul Richards, a former Labour Special Advisor.